Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can sign up to be a member of the Shannons Club, your local Holden certified service centre, Pace Farm the enjoyable egg, and Heron Forbes Machinery House, where you can buy online. G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome as I bring you to Grafton in New South Wales. We have cars and coffee. We have car, bike and truck events. We have private collections and we also have clubhouses. And you're about to see one in this week's Classic Restos on the road. This is the Grafton Vintage Motor Vehicle Club. The club has been proudly established 60 years in 2023. Around 460 members support the club, and for the past 6 years, members have been enjoying the clubhouse, a once dilapidated grounds from an old junior football club. The Grafton Vintage Motor Vehicle Club has active members from Grafton, Clarence Valley and Maclean areas, and the clubhouse is their one-stop place. With many heads put together, the experience here is immense. Virtually any mechanical problem can be solved here. There's a room full of magazines and motor manuals, and next to the clubhouse is the ultimate, another shed with a hoist, of course available to all members if need be. And what a fantastic opportunity it is to feature this club. How are you, Doug?
Great, Fletch. And how are you?
Good, thank you. Do you enjoy being president?
Yes, I've been there for probably about the last 6 or 7 years now. It's time for change, though.
You do some remarkable things. I love the presentation here of the premises, Doug. The grounds are fantastic. The clubhouse is awesome. You've got a workshop area as well. But just quickly, apparently the grounds haven't always been this nice, correct?
No, when we first learnt about this site being available, it was derelict. There wasn't a window left in the building. And as I say, there were about 80 round bales we got off the oval. Cattle on there you couldn't see for the height of the grass. So, but we've got a really enthusiastic club and committee people, and we've turned it right around in that time.
I love how the guys get together here. This is just such fantastic therapy for the guys, isn't it?
Well, it's a sort of a men's shed, I suppose, for a different term for in the motoring interest.
Yeah. Nothing better.
No, it's excellent. And I mean, every Wednesday we have a group here, which between 20 and 30 to 40 odd people for morning teas, and we share a lunch for those workers later on, and it's good camaraderie.
Doug, the coffee's flowing, the bicky jars are out, sitting around over there having a chat. They're enjoying themselves. The weather's brilliant. They've got their cars down the field. Things don't really get much better as a group for our fraternity. And speaking of which, some nice cars have turned up today.
Yes, no, it's we're probably a good 1,000 cars or more in our club. So, but if they all turned up at the same time, we'd probably have trouble fitting them in.
Well, like you say, around 460 members, and most have got a few cars each.
Well, I've got 3.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Well, you can't stop at one, right?
No, it's an incurable disease.
We don't want to find the cure, do we?
No, we don't.
Just on the note of the members as well, and the presentation around the club room there, I love the photos, the little frames of the members' cars around the walls. I just think that's a real nice touch.
It is, and we've got a lot more in the cameras yet to produce, so there'll be more photos up there eventually. So
the workshop is amazing. I thought you had one hoist in there. You've actually got 2, which is extra brilliant, if that's a term. It's just so well set up.
Yes, well, most of it's all donated, other than the fact that we had to buy a hoist. They're all brand new, but we've got wheel changes, wheel balances, lathes.
Now, Doug, of course you can't be the club president without having a car. Of course you've got some cars. But your car on the field here today that you brought along, the Celica.
Yes, that's my little Japanese Mustang. And
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
they were, and it's a lot of people. There's actually no badging on it, so people do think it's a Mustang.
The Celica, what a wonderful car. I remember that shape when they came out, and they were brilliant cars. The Japanese finish, they really did some things very, very well. I love their touch of wood grain on the dashboard, and as you say, the model with Mustang theming in the rear. The Japanese, of course, fantastic copiers, but not only did they copy, they used to do things quite well with their copy, didn't they?
They did, and that one there is actually fitted up with the twin cam motor, which is a Yamaha conversion on the heads and so forth.
Yeah.
So which I raced in Bathurst back in '80 and years gone past.
Most of us can remember the Williamson car at Bathurst in '79. That tacho was buried way past $6,000 all day long, up around 7. It really set a benchmark, that car, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it certainly did. And Peter was the starter of the Celicas to run in Australia.
I think it was one of the first camera cars too, the first car they chose to put a camera in.
It was Fletch, most definitely, yes. Yeah.
I think Dick Johnson was next because we used to love Dick's comments as he went around.
The dry comments.
Well, look, thank you very much. I really appreciate the fact that you've brought the Celica along. I thought just a few guys were going to turn up today. We've ended up with more than a few. Yeah. And again, thanks very much, Doug, for organising the guys here today. I know you're very proud, your club here, the Vintage Motor Vehicle Club here in Grafton. Keep up your superb work, mate. Well done.
Yes, thank you very much, Fletch. You're welcome.
My passion for cars began when Nana and Pop bought their new Toyota Crown. It was Nana's, really. She loved that car. We went everywhere in it. My passion now is just the same, even though my cars are a little different. I've still got Nana's car, couldn't part with it. And I reckon if she was here today, she'd be insured with Shannon's too.
Call Shannon's on 13 46 46. Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
When it comes to cars, there are some brands that will remain with us forever, no matter what. The Holden was always Australia's own car, held high in the hearts of many. Those lines, that chrome, the stories around them, and the people that owned them. From the classic through to the final, you can still trust in genuine Holden and AC Delco parts, available through the Holden Certified Service Network. In 2023, why not consider a Detroit tour with Fletch? Detroit, the automotive epicentre. It will leave you gobsmacked. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Limited spaces available, book now. 2023 Detroit Tour with Fletch. And time for Ian now on today's show. How are you, mate?
Very well, thanks, man. Yeah.
Nice day to bring the Fairlane out.
No, we're like my old car. My dad had one, same model, same colour, same whole shooting match. Yep. So that was a desire to do it up.
So a replica of the car that your dad had?
Yeah.
Beautiful car, 1963 Fairlane 500, 260 V8. Now the Fairlane 500 designating a base model, correct?
Yep. Yeah. You know, the only options were radio and a sun visor. Yeah.
So they were big things, Ian, back in the time, weren't they?
Yeah. And they were wirelesses, I think, rather than radios. Yeah.
What about the days where an option as a sun visor was a big thing? I read in a book not long ago that a family back in the day was excited that their new car was coming with a sun visor, to be able to pull that down so the sun wasn't in their eyes. You know, it's just so many things today taken for granted.
Yeah, even the Venetian blind, it was an add-on extra that you could buy in the day. So that was about the extent of the accessories there.
Beautiful car this, the condition inside, beautiful interior, Ian. Might have been reupholstered once upon a time. It may not have been, it doesn't matter, it just looks sensational.
Yeah, no, it is. I've done the seat covers, have been done in it. The hood lining's still original. And yeah, there's no bog, it's a completely rust-free car.
Just a real good body.
Yeah, it's a good body, and it's a good, original motor, tranny, the whole lot, just be reconditioned.
And the 260 does a nice job?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good on fuel.
260, it's not a huge capacity. There's no reason why you couldn't get fair consumption out of that.
Yeah, no, that's right. No, it's a good car. It's a good car to drive.
Traditionally Ford all day long. We look at the round taillights in the back. That was just so synonymous for the brand with Ford. It's a larger Falcon when we look at inside. We look at the door handles. We see the shape of the dashboard, and you can see where the derivative, where it came from the base, the American Falcon in 1960, and they went from there as a platform, a wider car than a Falcon. The 4 headlights out front look beautiful as well, Ian.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, no, it's a good car, as I said before. It's a good car to drive, and no power steer, none of that, but it's fine. Yeah,
But it was a Fairlane.
yeah, that's right. It was a fair
If
one.
you weren't in a Falcon, you're in a Fairlane, a Fairlane 500, beautiful car. Ian, thanks for hanging around today and coming along to the clubhouse. You really do have it made here. The retired guys here in Grafton, in the motoring fraternity, with your own clubhouse, your workshop, a great bunch of guys.
Yeah, it is. It's a good club, a lot of members, and the people that manage it, Doug Clark and Kim Dale and Kenny Norton and a few of the boys, they've been at it from the go, and they do a great job, and they should be commended for it.
Tell us what you love about driving this Fairlane 500. What feeling does it give you when you're behind the wheel?
Just the comfort. I grew up as a kid riding around on the parcel shelf because it wasn't illegal then, and yeah, just the drive, it floats, and it's quite. Yeah, it'll stay with the road traffic at any speed you want to name. And yeah, it's just a good car, just a good car to drive.
Ian, great talking to you, mate. Again, thank you very much for bringing this beautiful car along. I love it. White with the red inset in there, separated with stainless steel trim. Beautiful car. You've got your spats over the back wheels, white wall tyres. Yeah, really love it, mate. Thanks very much, Ian.
Thanks, Faz. All the best. Thank you.
John, welcome to today's show. An amazing 48215. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What's it mean to you, and tell us the feeling to own this car?
Well, I've owned it for 50 years. I bought it in a paddock as a heap of junk, and I've rebuilt it by hand myself. The only thing I haven't done is painted it, and it's part of the family. I've had this longer than I've had my wife, so if anything happens, it stays, she goes.
Yeah. See, with cars, if something goes wrong, you can fix them, can't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
50 years of owning this beautiful Holden, 48215 with the legendary die-cast waterfall grille out the front there. Australia's own car, back from 1948. What can you tell us history-wise, John, in terms of what's it been like over these decades?
Well, I was born in 1948, so it means a lot to me. My father had several of these when he was working as a farm machinery mechanic, and he used to have a habit of putting them on the roof. And so
We'll just blame the tyre technology of the day, I guess.
there was no bitumen road in those days. Everything was dirt and corrugation. So of course they weren't built for that type of.
So a couple of wheels off the side of the road and over you went.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, as I said, the car means it's part of the family, and it will be handed down to my grandson eventually.
That's beautiful, John. And over the years, it's been a good car?
Oh yes, we've been everywhere. We've been up nearly as far as Rockhampton in it, and we've been down as far as Melbourne and South Australia in it. We've been everywhere in it. It's a beautiful old thing to drive, and it's my pride and joy.
That beautiful, the Holden 3-speed gearbox is just so easy to use, aren't they?
Oh yes, yeah, that's very good because they hang on forever in top gear. You don't need to change them down; they'll just hang on. You crawl up a hill, they'll just hang on.
Because you're running these run about a 3.9 in the rear gear.
Yes, I think it is a 3.9, 3.87 or something.
That's why it can stay in top, and it can pull the little plywood caravan back in the time. How do you go out on the road today with the modern cars? Are drivers sympathetic to you for the speeds that you can sit on in this car?
Yeah, well, I can sit on 100 k's anyhow, so anything over 100 is speeding anyhow. But most of the time I can keep with the traffic.
The interior of the car is in fantastic condition too, John, and I love the option there of the rail behind the back seat. The taxi cabs used to get that option as well, didn't they?
The taxi cab rail was brought out to help the people getting in and out of the back seat as a taxi.
So hosting the 138 up front, you've got a 138 in this car. That's been good over the time. Have you had to do much to do that?
No, nothing at all. No, I've been back on the road 35 years, and the only thing I've had to do periodically is do the tappets, just general maintenance really.
I just think that, from an admiration perspective, how long you've preserved this car, you've had lots of decades and lots of opportunities to want to trade it in and to upgrade, but something has told you to keep this car, John.
Yes, no, it's symbolisation of actually I symbolise my life as this car because I've known nothing else, and I've owned this car for 50 years, and as I said, I've rebuilt it, hand rebuilt it, and that means a lot to me. That because what I'm looking at is what I've created myself.
Now, John, from our good friends at General Motors Australia and, of course, Classic Restos, I'd like to present you with this Holden Legends pack. It can go into your pool room or your man shed, and it just keeps things aligned with where you are with your Holden, your 48215, owning it for 50 years, and these packs are available online. You can buy them there, but I hope you enjoy that, John.
I really will. Thank you very much. I most appreciate it. I will. It'll go in a pride and joy.
We know the car means a lot to you. You've had it in your family a long time. So a little thing like this just helps rounds things off a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. Thank you very much.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's Home and Contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
They may not be making the classic Holden anymore, but the legacy lives on. You can still have a Holden certified service using genuine Holden and AC Delco quality parts at over 180 centres across Australia. Go to holden.com.au to find your nearest centre. Book your Holden in, maintain the pride. And of course, if you own a classic, make sure it's insured with Shannon's. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannon's a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And if you have anything to do with a car club such as this one, make sure it's on the club directory on the Shannon's Club for all the world to see. For more information, visit shannons.com.au. Moving on through, how are you, Ken?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you, Fletch.
That's the way. Are you having fun today?
Yeah, it's been good for our club to have you guys here to take a bit of footage of our club. We're pretty happy with the little setup we got here.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. They're kind words, and it's my pleasure to help put you guys on the map. You do a great job. 460 members and around about 1,000 cars in total belonging to the club. Got an awesome clubhouse there. Got your shed here with hoists in there, and such a good variety of vehicles as well. A handful of you guys turned up here today, and it's great to see. Speaking of which, we've got a trusty XY here.
Yes, certainly. I've owned that since 1972. It was our family car up until 1991.
It looks like something out of Homicide.
Yeah, I nearly sold it at one stage, and I thought, no, I've got to keep the whole thing. She's got a lot of history with it, so yeah.
Absolutely. When I see a white Falcon like this, I don't. It's something I'm waiting for Alwyn Kurtz to step out of it. You know.
Certainly, it's probably not the prettiest old thing you've seen. The paintwork's a bit in the how do you do and that sort of thing, but it still goes fine anyway. But
this is the thing. You've had it for a long time. It's been a daily driver for a long time. It's not as though it's a show car that's been parked up and you drive it every day. And you've got so much history here with it. This is how they were in the 80s and the 90s. We saw lots of these cars on the road. And you know, we can see inside, you've done a few little things. You've got your speakers in your door cards. That was an 80s thing, a 70s thing. Speakers in the door cards. You've also put a 4-speed in it. Is it a single rail Borg Warner?
It's a top loader.
You got a top loader for it?
Loader for it, yeah. It's got to put a 9-inch in it also in the rear of it. Some years ago when the old Borg Warner failed, so...
Well, there you go. You've got a 302 Windsor up front.
That's true, yeah.
And that's interesting too for XY. That's right on the end of the Windsors, the last of the Windsors.
They went to Cleveland after that, yeah.
Well, they went to Cleveland during the XYs.
Okay. Yeah, that's true too, yeah.
You've got an unbreakable driveline there, 9-inch, and your top loader gearbox as well. So it would have been a pretty trusty car over the decades.
Barely ever. I think I blew a heater hose at one stage when I was in my younger day when I was courting and pulled up on the side of the road at an old cattle station down near Taree and found some water in a cattle trough, blanked the hose off and she filled her up and away it went again.
Ken, wonderful catching up with you. Thank you for showing off the XY. Again, what I love about it, not everything on Classic Restos is about being a show car. We look at cars that are original cars that have been restored. We've got a car here that has been registered since day one, and it's just done and meant so much to your family through all these years, and that's what counts. So thanks very much, Ken.
Fletch, it's been a pleasure.
How are you, Rossi?
I'm good, thanks, Fletch, mate. Yep, going well. Yep.
Good on you. You'd have to be. A day like today and out in a car like this, have a go at it. 1975 HJ Monaro in beautiful tangerine, a beautifully restored car, a 308 4-speed car. Wow, you've got the hamburger with the lot here, Rossi.
Oh, thanks very much, Fletch. Yeah, I do. You do get a few looks with us sometimes. Yeah, so, yeah. But,
I'd say you would.
no, it's it's cost a little bit to get it like that, but you know, but you know, it's well worth it, and it's a family heirloom, the car. Yeah, so
the beautiful thing is, Rossi, you've thrown the wheelbarrow of notes at it. You don't have to do that again. It's just oil changes, put the fuel in from here on and just enjoy it. It's a beautiful restoration. It's one of these restorations where you can't really find a fault. Not that you're looking for a fault, but it is just beautiful. It's one of the nicest that I've seen, 75 HJs.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Fletch. Yeah, no, it's I'm quite pleased the way it's come up and that sort of stuff. And yeah.
Tell us about the family history side of things.
Well, the car was purchased new in 1975 by my father-in-law, Noel Brown in Inverell, and he bought it from Gork Rogers in Inverell. And when my mother-in-law and father-in-law both passed on, my wife inherited the car, and was a little bit worse for wear at the time, and so we didn't know what we were going to do with it, and they didn't want to get rid of it, so we spent a bit of money on and sort of getting it back to where it should be. And
it was probably a $1,500 car back then.
Well, I think the car was purchased brand new for probably $5,000 at the time, and but you know, we had to spend a bit of money on it to do it like that. And
but that shows, and you've done it correctly as well. You know, this is a car that has been done right. We look at the interior, the seats there with it's not houndstooth. What's the name of that? It's like a vinyl rubbery insert. What is that?
It's what's called taupe. It's taupe and chamois trim. Yeah, so it's the original trim. It took me a while to get it for the upholstery in Melbourne to make it up, because they only remanufacture that in small quantities just for restoration. So it did take a while to get it. Yeah.
I just love the way the car looks. You've got the beautiful original wheels on there as well. Being a 4-speed car, not a 253, it's a 308. Not that there's anything wrong with that. A lot of 253 4-speed cars around. You've got the 308 there. It's just a fantastic score. And I think the body mustn't have been too far gone when you got it. Rust-wise, was there any problems there?
Yeah, there was a little bit of rust in the sills, and the gentleman who did the rust repairs on me he virtually had to fold up a new floor for the boot, he said, and so it did have a bit of rust work in it.
Under the bonnet we are. Have a go at this. 308, 5 litre, got the pacemaker extractors there, original air cleaner there, proudly with the 5.0 litre on top. Yeah, that's... You've done a beautiful job, Rossi.
Oh, thank you very much, Fletch. Yeah, no, I'm quite pleased with the way it's come up, actually, yeah.
Car that looks this good, it's got to drive good.
It does drive good. Yeah, it does drive nice and wet. Yeah, it steers nicely too.
Isn't it wonderful that, well, I guess these cars, although they were expensive back in the time, they were aimed at the younger market. But that younger market then in 75, this is the product now. Yeah. And so you loved them in 75. Of course, we're going to love them today, aren't we?
Yes, Fletch. Well, my father-in-law must have, he was always a bit of a, loved his nice cars, because he traded in a HT Monaro to buy this, or the two-door Monaro, and how I'd love to have that car now too today, Fletch, but he traded that in to buy this one, and he just loved his nice cars, you know, so yeah.
I think it's wonderful that you've carried on the tradition. You could have easily have just got rid of the car, but you haven't. You've invested in it. It's where it is today. It's a real credit to you, Rossi.
Oh, thank you, Fletch. Yeah, no, sort of. Yeah, we didn't know what when we inherited the car. We didn't know what we were going to do with it, and we decided, well, we'd may as well restore it and see how we go from there. Yep.
Well done, Rossi. Now, to find out more information about the Grafton Vintage Motor Vehicle Club and, of course, their annual Motorfest event here each August, check out social media for more details. Rossi, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for bringing this beautiful Monaro along. It's been a pleasure meeting you as well. Good on you, mate.
Pleasure, Fletch. Pleasure's all mine.
Well, there you have it. That's a wrap. Just a little from the Grafton Vintage Motor Vehicle Club. They're a top bunch of people here at this club in Grafton. For more information about their club, visit the social media pages. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch. Thanks for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can sign up to be a member of the Shannons Club, your local Holden certified service centre, Pace Farm the enjoyable egg, and Heron Forbes Machinery House, where you can buy online.